Good afternoon, folks. Sorry, hold on a second. Let me get rid of this graphic. Thank you. All right. How you doing, folks? This is Rob Chappell, Executive Editor at Madison365 with your daily update for today, which is Monday, March 7th. It is a beautiful day out now. It was quite snowy this morning, as you might know. A lot of schools around the area did close today, but it's much nicer this afternoon. We're going to head first into some COVID data because the news here is very good. And really unmitigated, pretty good news all around. The only 218 new cases confirmed today, understanding that Mondays are always lower, right, than other days, but still, we didn't get, I don't think we cracked over 500 any day last week. I don't think, did we? So Monday is a little bit lower at 218. Still, we shouldn't have any days this week of more than 1,000 cases. Our 7-day average of new cases now down to 467. Hospitalizations also are down considerably since last week. We're now at 366 people currently hospitalized. That's down 47 just from yesterday, which means that there's almost a 10% decrease just since yesterday. And it's over 100, maybe not quite 100 fewer than Friday. It was like 450 something on Friday. But still, it's down 139 in the past 7 days, which is great. ICU population is at 67, which is steady from yesterday. That's zero change from yesterday, but is down 21 since in the past week. We now have 206 ICU beds available in the state of Wisconsin. That's the first time we've been over 200 in quite a while. That was down to like 39 at one point. There were 39 ICU beds available in the entire state of Wisconsin. Obviously, that has turned around and improved considerably. The 7-day average of confirmed deaths is still at 9. That's 0 new confirmed deaths yesterday. But at this point, we expect very few, if any, deaths to be confirmed on the weekends, just because these are deaths that happened weeks ago and are just now getting entered into the data, and that data entry doesn't happen on weekends very often, as much. So that's not a surprise to have that 0, but it is a little bit surprising that this death average is still at 9. Very pleasantly surprising, obviously. That's very good news. The last number we'll mention, our positive test rate, which, as you know, as I've been saying for 2 years now, almost, that we need that to be below 3, right? It's not a magic number exactly, but if you ask public health experts what number you want to see there, they would tell you that if you have less than 3% of your tests are coming back positive, you have the thing under control, no matter what the outbreak is, right? That means you're doing enough testing. You're testing people who aren't sick, so that you can find the people who are, right? So you wanted that to be below 3%. It is now 3.3. So that's down from 30 2 months ago. Right? Almost exactly 2 months ago, January 9th, it peaked at 30%, which is really, really bad. So to be back this quickly, back within an acceptable range, is really remarkably good news. Now, we've been without mask mandate here in Dane County for almost a week. If that has any negative impact, we won't see it for a few more days. Like if the lack of mask mandate in Dane County is going to have any effect at all, we'll see it probably by the end of this week. I anticipate that it won't for 2 reasons. First of all, Dane County is among the highest vaccination rate in the state. Right, so unmasking, when case levels are already low, there's just not a lot of virus traveling around right now. People taking masks off who are almost all vaccinated is not going to cause a big surge. Secondly, I've been just out and about in the last, over the past week, and a lot of people are still masking up. A lot of people are just being extra cautious because why not? Right, going to grocery stores, you don't know who is vaccinated. You don't know who might be high risk, who might have immune system compromises. So a lot of folks, I would say roughly half or a little bit more than half of the folks I see here in Dane County are still wearing masks in public indoor settings, which I think is great. And I don't think there's any shame in that. Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida yelling at children to take off their masks, notwithstanding, I don't think that's appropriate. I think it's perfectly fine. I think it's good. If you feel like you want to wear a mask, do so, please. That's all there is to it. The UW campus at the University of Wisconsin here in Madison, you have to wear masks for the rest of this week. The 11th is Friday. That's the last day masks are required. Then it's spring break. And then after we come back from spring break, no masks will be required. So that's the COVID news. If you have any questions about that, drop them in the comments. Feel free to do so. I'm going to take a short break here. Do not scroll away. We'll be back right after this. This week in Beloit on Wednesday, we're going to see the Rock County Jumpstart Accelerator pitch event. These are 7 business owners, Black and Latino business owners in Beloit, who have been on this 10-week journey together, learning from each other and from mentors about running a business and growing a business. And they are having their pitch event on Wednesday night. Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes will be there to deliver the keynote. Beloit area economic development leaders will be there, county board supervisors, other elected officials. And I spoke with Gina Stevens, who is the founder of Rock County Jumpstart. And she told me about this program. They basically took 2.5 years to put this together because they were about to do it right before the pandemic and then kind of had to put it on the back burner, obviously. But they took that time to kind of reimagine the program, and it ended up being less about you're going to sit there while we teach you, and it's more about the business owners working together and learning together. So it sounds really cool. The pitches are going to be, first of all, here's my business, here's how I'm going to grow my business, but it's also about learning how to be in a room with sort of, the traditional power player type people who are traditionally kind of white people, right? And learning how to tell people what you need and ask for support, ask for assistance, ask for investment, right? So it should be a fun event. It's Wednesday night at the Beloit Public Library. Seating is limited. The seats are all taken now, but if you go there, you can see if there's room for you. Also today on the site, Madison365.org, we have big news from Centro Hispano. This is a press release on Thursday, but the state of Wisconsin is investing $21 million in a variety of neighborhood investments, right? And 4 projects on the south side of Madison are getting some of that money. The Center for Black Excellence and Culture, the Black Business Hub, which is a project of the Urban League of Greater Madison, Bayview Foundation, which runs a housing complex down there, and then Centro Hispano. Centro Hispano got $4.8 million to build a new home for itself. And they've already got the land, like a land swap, all set to go, and it's very exciting. They've been there for 40 years now. Or as you should say, next year they'll be celebrating their 40th year. And as you know, I'm sure if you're around Madison, you know that the Latino population is growing very rapidly in Dane County, and this is the only organization that really only supports Latino people, or it's probably the largest. So they're building a new facility for themselves. And that state money is going to go a long way to help with that. Looking at national news now, the police chief in Fort Lauderdale, this is him, he was fired, he says, for doing too much diversity. Larry Scirotto is his name. He's less than a year in office. He was sworn in August. He's made 15 promotions between August and November, 6 of whom were ethnic or gender minorities. So that was just too much. That was just too much diversity. 6 out of 15. Too much diversity for the Fort Lauderdale City Council, who fired him. So we got that story from CNN. There are some allegations that he says some specific things about, wanting more diversity, which in the leadership, which is, I think, I don't know, is that really that bad? I don't know. And one last disturbing story for you: Brittany Greiner, legit basketball celebrity, plays for the Phoenix Mercury in the WNBA, and also plays for a team professionally in Russia, is still detained in Russia. And a member of the House Foreign Services Committee has said that it's going to be very difficult to get her out because there's just no diplomatic relations between the United States and Russia right now. She was arrested allegedly for possessing hash oil in a vape pen thing, which apparently is illegal in Russia. It's also illegal to be gay in Russia, which she is. So she faces a difficult challenge in getting out. The question is, she's been in for at least a couple of weeks now. We didn't hear about it until late last week. But will Brittany Greiner become a bargaining chip of some kind in diplomatic talks over the war in Ukraine, etc.? It's very disturbing and very difficult story to think about. But she's still in custody, and we won't know much, for a while about how that's going to play out. So that's the news I have for you today. I hope you're able to enjoy this evening, and we'll be back tomorrow with more news for you. Follow us on Madison365.org for the latest, as well as on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and have a great night.
This is 365 Media.